is why it's incredibly important to understand that the personal connection that you create with your audience is the most valuable thing that you can do in your business. When you create a personal and emotional connection with them, they are sold on you. Anything that you sell, again, the framework doesn't matter as much. Obviously, people want something that's proven. People want something that actually works, right? So they're not really buying from you unless you're a celebrity, right? Like, they're not really buying from you just for the experience of being in your universe, but that is an important part of their decision-making process. The idea that by buying your product, they are in your universe, whether that's the course or not, they feel that proximity to you. They create the story around the experience of learning from you. And so the quicker you can create that personal and emotional connection, the faster you will sell. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Empire Secrets. I'm your host, Mariana Henninger, the Emmy-winning documentary filmmaker turned entrepreneur, founder of brandmagnetic.com. And I specialize in helping you build instant emotional and personal connection with cold audiences so that you can accelerate trust and accelerate your sales, essentially. Be memorable and have people actually love you from first post. um, and I wanted to talk today about this conversation that I had recently with an AI expert. I feel like I'm talking so much about AI lately, but it's for good reason. Obviously, AI is so important and so prevalent in business right now. I'm super excited because I feel like I have gotten ChatGPT to really nail who I am, what I do, what I love, what I don't love. The language is just like so fine-tuned to how I say things, how I would never say things. It avoids those things. In fact, I was sending a voice note to my really awesome biz bestie, Vanessa, who has a cinematography course. And I was telling her about this, like how excited I am that I was up until probably midnight last night, just chatting with Chad, my chat GPT. And I finally got it to write an email where I was like, I would change nothing about this, which is like mind blowing to me. I mean, emails for me have been hard because my emails are kind of so different than the norm, if you will. And so the idea that I've gotten ChatGPT to the point where it's writing emails that sound so much like me, I wouldn't change anything is unbelievable. I never thought I would actually get to this point. Not that I'm set. I'm sure there's going to be something I tweak. I actually had my VA take the output from the thread. And I was like, hey, can you prep this for me inside of my CRM? Which is such a delight, by the way. I am so loving having my VA do stuff like that for me, take content and create carousels with using like my Canva template that I'm using right now. And it's been a delight with a VA. So anyway, shout out to Clary. Back to what I was saying, I could not believe I got it to write this email that sounded so much like me. And to be fair, I did have some really good inputs. In fact, I was testing a custom GPT by Brenna McCowan, who's creating yet another one for her program. And we're in a mastermind together. And she was looking for some testers. I was like, Brenna, I'm in pre-launch. I'll love to test your new bot. And one of the things that she preps ahead of time is like, here is the document that I need you to fill out and then take these answers and paste it into the bot, right? And for me, I didn't even answer those questions. I literally went back to ChatGPT. I was like, hey, to the best of your ability, based on what you know about me, can you answer these questions? I can't even tell you how amazing those results were. Like I tweaked maybe one tiny thing and I was like, wow. Not only that, I got one or two ideas from that output of ways that it described what I do that I thought was so ninja that I've never like considered. So I was getting like new good stuff from the answer that it gave me. And then I actually tested her bot with those answers. And the bot was supposed to help you write one of your pre-launch emails. And I was like, this is okay, but I wonder what my chat GPT would do with this information, right? So I literally just continued in that same thread. Okay, great. Based on what you know about this. And I always tell it to like, remember how I write, remember my tone and style. And over time, I've fed my chat GPT emails that I've written. So it could hopefully reference those quite easily. I mean, I feel like it is. And I asked it to write this email instead. I didn't give it any information and it did a pretty good job. And the two tweaks that I made were as follows. The first one is that I asked it to tell a specific story. And I did not give it a ton of information about the story, but it really integrated it really well. And then the second feedback I had for it was make this slightly snappier, or I think, what was the word that I used? It was kind of like, I want it to be a little wittier. I love the word witty. I love any sort of witty copy. And so I asked it to be a little bit wittier, and oh my gosh, that result was amazing. So anyway, I wanted to tell you this backstory of how excited I am about my chat working so well right now. But I also wanted to tell you about an interview that I did last week. So last week I was actually sick. I had like the norovirus for 24 hours. It completely knocked me out. It was a little concerning because I was sick all day on Wednesday, and then come Thursday, I revisited the ginger ale that I had. I was like, "Oh, man, I was supposed to feel better the next day, not worse." It was so crazy. It was just like nothing happened, and I knew I wanted to, like, take it easy on Thursday, but anyway, long story short, the reason I'm saying this is because I had actually canceled my podcast interview with this AI expert that was scheduled for Thursday PM, but luckily for me, he didn't reply to my email in the morning, and I took advantage of that, and I was like, "Hey, Rick, if you're still on, I feel so much better. Like, we can do this." And I'm so glad I did it. We had an awesome conversation. So our conversation's coming. He was actually just on Amy Porterfield's podcast, Online Marketing Made Easy. And I can't wait to to listen to that interview as well. But he and I like chatted for almost an hour, and it was so good. Really ninja custom GPT stuff. So it's a little bit more advanced. When it comes out, I'll give you the heads up. But one of the things that he said at the very end of that episode, or that conversation that we had, was make sure that you are not letting AI use your IP to teach the language model. And a lot of people say this, right? A lot of people are like, make sure you protect your IP so that, AI can't steal it and use it across the web, and like other people could ask about it, all this stuff. And it really got me thinking, because I truly believe that information is everywhere. Anything that you ever wanted to learn, you can find cheap/free way to learn it. I truly don't believe that anybody's framework is that proprietary or that ninja that somebody else doesn't have a very similar framework that works probably just as well. And I just believe so strongly in not charging for information per se, right? To me, what I can offer my students and my clients is way less about the information and the framework that I use, and way more about the experience of learning with me. And it got me thinking about this study that a lot of people in my world that talk about storytelling, et cetera, they toss this around, and it's actually an anecdotal study, and nobody really makes that distinction, but I thought I would. This is not like a proven scientific study, but it's based on anecdotes, and it's a study, if you will, that's been tossed around enough times, or a stat rather, that most people kind of accept it at this point. But I wanted to make that caveat. But the stat is that people retain information 22 times more when it's wrapped in a story. And what that means is, if you give somebody just a figure, if you gave somebody just information, chances are they won't remember. Especially, they won't remember like details about it. But if you instead tell a story, wrap that information in a story, people retain it so much more. So much more. And obviously, the way that people use this stat most of the time is like, you need to tell more stories in your business, right? But this morning, I started thinking about the importance of the teaching experience, the importance of the story that's created around the experience of learning from somebody, and how that makes things so much memorable, and how that increases the impact of the information. And what I mean is, AI can have your frameworks. AI probably already knows your frameworks, or knows enough about you or enough about the things that you do, that if you ask it like, hey, create a framework for what I do, chances are that the framework that AI gives you right now is not very different from what you already do and what you already teach, which means that your students could be doing the same thing. They could be asking AI for that same information, right? ChatGPT doesn't even have, like, you don't even have to have an account anymore. You can literally just ask it without signing in, much less paying for it. Your information is not what's valuable. Your framework is actually not what's valuable. What's valuable is the story of the experience of learning from you. What's valuable are the examples that you bring, the care that you bring, the personality and the expression and the vibe and the emotion around learning from you, implementing with you. That's what people want, and that's what people will pay for. And so that's why it's incredibly important to understand that the personal connection that you create with your audience is the most valuable thing that you can do in your business. When you create a personal and emotional connection with them, they are sold on you. So anything that you sell, again, the framework doesn't matter as much. Obviously, people want something that's proven, people want something that actually works, right? So they're not really buying from you unless you're a celebrity, right? Like, they're not really buying from you just for the experience of being in your universe, but that is an important part of their decision-making process. The idea that by buying your product, they are in your universe. They are in proximity to you, whether that's the course or not. They feel that proximity to you. They create the story around the experience of learning from you. And so the quicker you can create that personal and emotional connection, the faster you will sell. With that in mind, I'm so excited to share that I'm putting together a workshop. I have not taught a live workshop in over a year. Like, this is not something I do on the regular at all. I don't know when I'm going to do this again, if I'm going to do it again this year. But the reason for this workshop is that I feel like there's kind of a gap between folks who are just understanding the idea of how important it is to create that emotional connection and are ready to commit to my program. And I want you to be developing that story that you can tell on your podcast, on your social, on your About Me page that creates that instant personal and emotional connection so that you can accelerate trust. And so in this workshop, it's called Undeniable. It's going to be a live workshop on February 25th. I am going to teach you all of the good stuff. So I'm going to take the best materials from my framework. I'm going to take the best material from my paid programs and distill it for you in this 2-hour workshop. And I hope you'll join me. You can find out more information. Go to brandmagnetic.com/undeniable. It is, again, a one-time only workshop. You will get the replay. I made it incredibly affordable and a no-brainer. I really hope you join me. There was a world where I was going to charge $400 for this workshop, and I decided instead to open up the doors and charge $27. It is absolutely a no-brainer. This is by far the cheapest way to ever learn from me, and I hope you'll take me up on it. I would love to see you there. The first 20 participants, so I just opened the doors to this workshop very gently today, but I am going to start announcing it on every single post, on every single time I show up. The first 20 folks who sign up will get the VIP pass for free. And what the VIP pass is access to an additional hour of training with me, an additional Q&A, which we'll probably do on a different day, because this day I want it to be specifically for that workshop, but we will likely have either before the workshop or more likely after the workshop. I'm going to do a separate Q&A for VIP only. I would love to see you there. I'm so excited about this workshop. I'm literally spending the entire month of February preparing for this workshop. Again, it's called Undeniable for a reason. I want you to become undeniable to your audience. And the things that you can't deny in life are the things that you're absolutely drawn to, that are out of your control, that you just are magnetized by both, or either the thing or the person. And that's what I want you to become for your audience. So join me at brandmagnetic.com/undeniable. Grab your tickets there. And I would love, love, love to see you there. Guys, this has been an amazing catch up. I love chatting with you. I love hearing from you. Connect with me on Instagram at brandmagnetic. Grab a ticket to the Undeniable workshop. I would love to see you there. The price does go up to $97 once we get closer to the workshop, so around February 23rd. So now's your chance to grab it at the insane price of $27. Be one of the first 20 to get a VIP upgrade. All right, my friends, I hope you have an amazing rest of your week, and I will see you on the next episode of Empire Secrets. Bye for now.